Doctor. How goes it?
Oh, it's going.
It is going.
Seems like it's going by really fast.
Faster than I'm comfortable with.
Yeah, especially long change. Just like, maybe it's because it's been so busy.
Yeah, it's definitely on the back end, post-Christmas and all that.
Yeah.
You're just like, the chaos subsides.
Yeah.
And then you're like, still in chaos mode.
Yeah, and then it's like, shit, I only have like 3 more days until I have to go back to work. That's really dumb, dude.
I know, I have Friday night off, so I got an extra one.
Lucky ducky. Should have done that. I had Thursday off, though.
Well, they screwed me over on an overtime day, so that's a story for another time.
Anyways.
Let's talk about Tunguska.
Tunguska. I don't know how you'd say it in the native Russian tongue, but...
That's a Yeg question.
Yeah.
He's Russian.
Tunguska.
Don't tell him I said that. He'll get butthurt.
Yeah, super interesting anomaly, shall we say?
Unsolved?
Unsolved.
For sure, correct word. How much did you know about Tunguska before you researched it?
I'd looked into it. I'd seen some shows about it and other podcasts referencing it quite a bit. And so I looked it up a little bit before. So I was familiar with it, but the more I looked into it, the more interesting it becomes, I think.
I agree. I was kind of the same. I had heard it in passing. I had seen some stuff about it, like on Ancient Aliens and what have you. And then I remembered there's actually a reference to it in Ghostbusters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ray says it's something, isn't it, like one of the most powerful explosions since Tunguska?
Since the blast of Tunguska in 1908.
Yeah.
So.
Which Ghostbusters is that?
The first one.
Oh. I just heard somebody say that on one of the things I was listening to. I was like, oh, interesting. What is the blast that he's talking about?
God, now that you put me on the spot, I can't think of it. Which is weird, because I'm a fucking super nerd for Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Just cracking this spilt cookies and cream.
Where's that sponsorship?
Yeah. Let me get some protein in real quick,
Avoid that smooth brain.
Well, it's pretty smooth this morning.
So is mine.
Of course, I didn't go to the gym this morning either. I was like, oh, fuck it, I'll do it later. We'll see if that happens.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
But yeah, so the Tunguska event was an explosion that happened over the Siberian tundra of the Tunguska region. It was an explosion that they, because of the shock wave and so it was really fortunate that it happened there because it's really sparsely populated, but this explosion was like 1,000 times more powerful than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. So I mean, it was a major explosion.
It's the largest recorded explosion in human history that's non-nuclear.
Yeah.
Which, like you said, in a sparsely populated area, convenient.
Very convenient. So, like we said, that it's very sparsely populated, but there were 3 deaths kind of attributed to the blast. People that were like 30 or 40 miles away. One guy like got a bunch of bones broken in his body and died shortly after, but no confirmed deaths. Although this is 1908 in fucking Siberia, and so there could have been somebody standing right at the epicenter and just fucking vaporized and nobody.
There could have been 1 million people there and they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny. I was reading an article yesterday about how Russia is going to start turning off their Wi-Fi and power at a certain time to try to improve Russian birth rates.
Really?
Yeah. We need soldiers for the war. But previously, Russia didn't give a shit about their people. Or I should say, Prussia or the USSR or any other version of it that you want to say.
Yeah. Yeah, I was watching, I can't remember who the guy's name was, but he was talking about, this was a couple of years ago on Joe Rogan. It might have been Brett Weinstein. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure if that's who it was, but was talking about Russia is kind of on a population downfall, and if they don't get their numbers up, they're going to be pretty much screwed in the next 10 years, 15 years or something like that. The U.S. also is declining in population. Birth rates anyways.
Think about the quality of life in Russia. It's, I don't know, I've never been there, but it seems pretty shitty. And it's shitty here.
Yeah.
And we're first world country. We're the first world country, number one. And it's like, it's fucking tough to live nowadays. Imagine bringing, being like an 18, 19-year-old kid having a kid. You wouldn't make it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can see why people are not wanting to have children. Kids are fucking expensive, dude.
They're expensive as fuck.
Yeah.
Unless, you live in a blue state, and then it's basically free.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different theories on what happened. The most widely accepted by science is that there was a meteor that entered our atmosphere and exploded like 5 miles above the surface of the Earth.
An airburst
meteor. And caused this destruction. The blast was like 800 square miles. It devastated 800 square miles of the forest. 80 million trees were knocked over in this blast. And then there are some small towns like 200 kilometers away that all the windows were blown out in this town and people were knocked off their feet, and there was a magnitude 5 earthquake that happened along with this whole thing. And so people didn't really know what it was. Some of the closest eyewitnesses to it said that they saw it looked like the sky split in half and then a bright light, and then all of a sudden everything got super hot, and then there was a blast wave.
You know what it was? It was the firmament broke for a second.
Yeah. The flat Earth just rippled a little bit. Did one of these.
Yeah, the bubble that's over the flat Earth was just like, let some shit drop in and close back up. That's all it was.
Cosmic shit right on us.
Yeah. Galactus was just like...
Maybe it was just Atlas readjusting.
He's just like, fuck, this shoulder's tired. Shift to this side.
Yeah. So that's the most widely accepted. Now, of course, again, this is 1908 in Russia. At this time, Russia has just gone through a civil war. So the ruler of Russia at that time was Tsar Nicholas. He precedes Lenin, who precedes Stalin.
Just
so
most progression of shitters.
All this thing just happened that people are aware of. They don't go and actually look at anything until 11 years later. They send a research team to go see what it was that happened. And the only reason why they did that is because the researcher who thought it might be a meteorite was thinking that he's going to go find silver and gold from this meteor, and so he convinces the political parties that are involved to fund an expedition for research to go out and find this thing. So they leave and they go, and they don't even make it because they leave in November, and it's fucking Siberia.
It's cold.
It's cold. It's wintry, very wintry. So they don't even make it there to the epicenter of the blast. until like 7 years later, where they like go back home, regroup, get refunded, and then go back out. So it's like 20 years since the blast actually happened before anybody gets there and like tries to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, they're like, we gotta wait until they come out with new parkas.
Yeah.
It's too fucking cold.
We have to wait for helicopter to be invented.
Yeah. At least the Dyatlov people waited till February, like the end of winter,
Yeah. Ish.
instead of the beginning.
Yeah.
That's super stupid. So how do you like the airburst meteor theory? Because did you see the video of the airburst meteor over Russia in 2013?
Yeah.
Devastating power.
Yeah.
And it didn't even make landfall.
Yeah, and that one was smaller, and it blew up like 13 miles above the surface of the Earth, and even that was enough to. I mean, there's videos online, you can watch it.
Oh, it's crazy to watch.
Yeah.
You just see, like you said, the sky just rips open, and this like fucking fireball comes through. It looks like a mini sun just blasting through the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Just shattering windows, streets are shaking, the whole nine.
Now, can you imagine a piece of rock that's like 100 feet wide flying across the sky at like 7 miles a minute? I think that's what, or 7 miles a second.
Yeah.
That's how fast these things are going. It's like 33,000 miles an hour or something like that
Yeah.
when they come into the atmosphere. So you just see, basically, you wouldn't even see it. You would just see a streak of something, and then big light. Like
Yeah,
it would
it's
be-
moving so fast that what you see it already transpired minutes ago.
Yeah,
It's so fucking fast.
yeah,
Like 60 times the speed of sound.
Yeah.
That's how fast it is.
it would just be like, I was thinking about that on the way over here, just like driving, looking at the sky, like, dude, I wonder what that would fucking look like. That would be so scary.
Could you imagine you're driving to work and you see that and you go, you know what? Going home.
Hey, Tuck. Yeah, not gonna make it, bud.
Yeah, I think you can understand why. Just look outside the window.
Not that I'm feeling sick. I'm just feeling like the world just ended. So
Yeah, I'd like to spend my dying moments with my kids. You know what I'm saying? Nothing personal.
I want to go home and be one of those Pompeii guys. And
Last second crank, dude.
yeah. I guess I could do that in my car. Just pull over. Fuck it.
I'd just do it while I was driving. Because even if it doesn't destroy the world, you might still crash your car and die that way.
True.
Either way, you're going out a fucking legend.
Yeah. They find you in your car with like your phone is still playing. Fucking mess all over your belly. God, poor guy.
They're over there trying
Fucking
to
legend.
use the jaws of life to cut open your door, and all they hear is, huh, huh. Phone's on the floorboard, just like, you know what? Good on him.
Still connected to the Bluetooth in the car.
At least he finished. We're gonna need a mop, by the way.
Yeah, that would just be so terrifying, and that's what like some of the eyewitnesses that were recorded. Like again, this is like 11 years later before they actually talked to the people who actually witnessed it. But they were saying that, you know, they thought that it was the end of the world, and they thought that it was over, you know.
I would too.
Yeah.
You just see the sky rip open and this miniature sun flies through.
Yeah.
This is
The blast
the end.
was so loud that the sound wave traveled around the world twice.
Yeah. And the seismographs from far off countries, the UK and everything, were picking up the devastation of the shaking.
Yeah.
That's how big it was.
And there's some people online that talk about the Tunguska event, call it the Tunguska miracle, because it was a miracle if it was an airburst that it happened over a very remote section of Earth that people are not inhabiting this area. So there was very little loss of life. If it had happened over like a big portion of glaciers, it probably would have melted them really quickly and rose sea levels quite a bit really rapidly.
At the very least, destabilized them.
And if it
had
would
just
have
tons of glaciers floating around.
happened over water, it would have caused tsunamis that would have wrecked millions and millions of
All
people's
kinds
lives.
of coastal cities. See, that's where I have trouble believing in the whole airburst meteor thing, just because it just so happened to be in such a remote location that it's like, what are the odds? You know, it almost seems too neat. It seems too conspiracy to me.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of my theories kind of go. It's just because maybe it's my untrusting nature to go, it's just too simple.
Yeah.
So another theory is Tesla's death ray,
Tesla's death ray.
which places a little bit higher for me. And the idea is that Tesla fired up Wardenclyffe Tower, and he was expecting this spectacular light show of electricity, and it was going to be like this awesome thing, and it was going to be able to power cities and everything else. But really nothing happened. It created a hum, there was a little bit of sparklies, and then nothing happened. But simultaneously, that happened in Tunguska. So, to me, that's more viable. Because although Tesla was a genius, he was still playing with something he didn't fully understand.
Right.
Which he was experimenting, he was trying different things. Who's to say he didn't accidentally send this crazy amount of energy that, you know, could have bounced around the atmosphere and happened to land there?
Yeah.
Or was it planned?
Well, even then, there's stories about him talking to this guy named Peary, who was like going on an Arctic expedition. Peary is the first person that actually like went to the North Pole, and so on this expedition, Tesla had telegraphed him. He was getting ready to leave from London or something to go to the North Pole region, and Tesla told him to watch the skies for a sign of his. So he was aiming it for the North Pole, but they say that if you draw a line from Wardenclyffe Tower on Long Island to the North Pole and then keep going, you hit exactly where the epicenter of. So people say that he just overshot where he was aiming for to show this like spectacular light show for Peary.
Unless it was, he didn't take into account for a magnetic anomaly, which is kind of what I thought.
Yeah.
Because if you were going to test a weapon of that kind of destructive capability, you would want it in an area where there's no population.
Yeah.
You know the North Pole has no population. It's basically uninhabitable.
What about fucking Santa, dude?
Maybe Tesla had
Yeah.
had a big hate on for Santa.
He's like, fuck Santa Claus and all of those fucking elves.
I didn't get my fucking train set for Christmas when I was 7, and I'm still pissed. But now I'm a super genius.
Yeah. Villain, even, perhaps?
I think all of the
Certain levels of villainy towards elves?
I think all of the super smart guys are like one bad day away from being super villains.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like Elon Musk could be a super villain today, and it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
He'd be like holding the world ransom. Build the fucking underground tunnels with maglev. This will better the population, or I'll kill
Well,
you.
they already have them. That's what connects all the dumbs.
Yeah, that's true. It connects all the secret bases. Dulce, Area 51, all the way to the White House.
DUMB stands for Deep Underground Military Base, if for any dumb people that don't know that.
Idiots. Do you not listen to Dave-Inci's code? How would you not know that?
Yeah, I like that. I like the Tesla theory. People don't know what we're talking about. Tesla was building Wardenclyffe Tower to be like a energy creating tower that would create wireless energy for pretty much the world. You just have to build these towers in certain places, and according to Tesla, and it would just radiate electrical energy so that you could just have like free power that just comes from the ground, from the earth.
Until J.P. Morgan was like, wait a minute, can't charge for it? Fuck no.
Yeah, so J.P. Morgan, who's literally the Monopoly man, that's who they based the character off on, the Monopoly game, is based on J.P. Morgan, was very powerful, wealthy individual in that time, and he was funding, he had like a bunch of different companies. Like he had timber mills, he had he owned swaths of forest in South America that had these rubber trees. He had mines, he owned like 4 railroads, and they were all different components of making and producing wire for electricity, pretty much. He was the one that was funding most of Tesla's research, especially in Wardenclyffe Tower. But I don't think that he liked the idea of giving energy away for free when he has his whole empire built on charging for wires and electricity. And so, I mean, he was funding this whole Wardenclyffe Tower thing, which started, I believe, in 1901. Tesla started building this tower, and then by like 1910, he lost funding for it, and J.P. Morgan was like, "Yeah, fuck you! I'm not giving you any more money. This is just a waste of time.
Shit.
This is just a waste of time." And then I think 1917, the tower was dismantled for scrap because it was just they took it as a loss, supposedly.
Tax write-off.
But what if Tesla was successful and it was all just information that they kept suppressed for monetary gain on the other side of... so that's a big driving force of that conspiracy of Tesla's.
Yeah, and it stands to reason that would be a really good tie into Tunguska, where he was trying to tap into just free energy for everybody, just pulling it out of the atmosphere and out of the ground. It's the way I think of it is there has to be a near unlimited amount of power. Even if you look at 0-point energy, it's out there. You just have to figure out how to harness it.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of I give that theory more credence, because maybe he did, but he didn't know how to control it. And if he's trying to provide free power for the whole world, maybe he figured out how to do it. He just didn't figure out how to control it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it ended up, like I said, potentially not calculating for a magnetic anomaly going over the pole. Instead, he was trying to direct it at the pole, but it could have deflected, in the same way, 2 negative sides of a magnet will deflect each other.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to land here, and it went boing. So I got to give that one a 9 out of 10 on plausibility.
Yeah.
I think Tesla deserves an episode.
I think Tesla definitely deserves an episode. He was a mad scientist in every regard.
There's so much cool shit he did that it's just, you look at it now from our perspective here in 2025, almost 2026, and we look at a lot of the shit he built, and it's how did you even dream that shit up?
Yeah.
Or the fact that he would come up with an idea, and the way he described it was he could look at it 3-dimensionally in his mind. He would build this entire thing in his mind before he did anything.
Yeah. Crazy.
He came up with that, what's it called? The Spirit Radio.
Oh, yeah.
Which is just a crystalline radio, but it's super fucking cool.
Yeah.
He was just tinkering one day. It was wonder if I could talk to the dead. Hold on. Build a machine.
If they use energy, how can I record energy through a speaker? They want them to talk to me. Speakers play sounds.
Maybe I'll use crystals because I'm super into Reiki.
Yeah, we can definitely do an episode on Tesla.
So where do you rank the Tesla's death ray theory?
I like that theory. It is a fantastical. I would say probably about an 8. The only reason why I don't really think that is what happened is that this is 1908, and then like two world wars happen, and the Second World War is ended by an atomic bomb, and why would we wait that long to use the technology that they had?
Unless it was destroyed.
Unless it was destroyed
2 years later.
Yeah. I mean, I would say probably 8.5.
So the other thing that gives it more credibility to me is that after it happened, people in the region were seeing lights in the sky, just strange anomalous lights, but they were seeing them beforehand too.
Yeah.
To me, that sounds a lot like ball lightning, which is totally plausible, that you're going to have this massive amount of current that you're going to transmit, across this big distance, that it's going to have residual after effects like ball lightning.
Yeah.
Which is something we know very little about.
Yeah.
So even precipitating that event, seeing ball lightning, kind of makes sense because you've built the tower, it already has current to it, it's already basically transmitting where it's going to land, which is why you're seeing some of these like electrical effects beforehand.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when we talked about 3I Atlas and meteors and asteroids hitting the Earth, how the Earth will kind of or the oceans will kind of recede, almost as though the Earth is taking a breath. It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Like the Earth knows this big crazy thing is about to happen.
Which leads into another theory that I heard, and it involves the electric universe. Have you heard anything about this?
I have not come across this.
So the theory is that like everything, and this is something that I do actually believe, that like everything has an electrical charge, like everything, no matter what it is, like it's not just a physical or a gas state, there's an electrical charge to it. And so even like the Earth and the Moon, the Earth has its own electromagnetic field, and like all the other planets have their electrical charges, and comets and meteors also are charged in a certain way. And whenever a meteor or a comet passes, the two bodies can exchange an electrical force with each other. But if one comes in contact or close enough to the Earth, it could have like a static discharge between the two bodies, the Earth and the meteor that's going by. And that would create electromagnetic disturbances in the air for days before and days after, just like it would look like an electrical storm almost, but the sky would be bright. But that's what witnesses say, is like the sky was bright enough that they could like read a book in the middle of the night. It was that bright outside for like 3 or 4 days after, and like a day or two before the thing happened. So that was one theory, was that like a meteor came by, maybe even entered the atmosphere, and there was an electrical discharge between those two that was like almost like a lightning bolt that would be like 10 million times more powerful than, it's just an electrical discharge of the Earth's electromagnetic field into this meteor that vaporized it in the air.
Interesting.
which is a pretty good theory. That would kind of explain all the... So when they finally went back, I think this was not until like the 70s, they did another expedition, went back looking for evidence of a meteor. Never found any like meteorites or like rocks that you would assume or you would think would be around. If there was a big rocky meteor that exploded in the air, you'd probably find remnants of it. But again,
Or
this is
a big fucking hole in the ground, which wasn't there.
yeah, this is like fucking 40 years late, 50 years later at the time, and that whole area is like a bog. It's like a swamp, so anything that landed there is now probably 10 feet in this fucking bog.
But you would still think if it was a meteor that made landfall, there would be a huge crater, and even a bog's not going to backfill that quick.
Yeah,
It's going to take a couple hundred years before the ground levels back out.
yeah,
But there wasn't one.
no.
And there was no fragments of a meteor. There were some minor radiological effects that they found, but it's slim.
Yeah. The only thing they found were these micro orbitals that do show up after a nuclear type blast, and they're just little tiny round melted earth sphericals, like they're little droplets of melted earth that just turn into a little ball that they found kind of in that area. That so at the time they found these, there was a guy that was like a Russian author, and then he wrote a book about it was a nuclear blast. So like some people were like talking about like, well, the nuclear bombs weren't invented until like the 1940s really, and but this happened in 1908, and so he came up with the theory that it was an alien spacecraft that was flying over, and its nuclear drive exploded.
I've heard that one. It's pretty fucking low on my list. And that's weird because I'm an alien guy, you know. Like if I can tie a conspiracy back to aliens, I'll fucking figure it out. But even that one for me is like, I get it, but it feels very science fiction-y.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem realistic. But again, you're talking about if the nuclear drive of an alien spacecraft, if they even use one, if it explodes, you would still see more radiological effects.
Yeah.
But there wasn't any.
Yeah.
And they were so minor that it was like, oh, we read a little bit on this tree or in this one piece of dirt. Like, I was watching this documentary and they were trying to like hyperinflate the amount of gamma radiation they were finding, but it's super low.
Yeah.
It's actually the same amount you'd find here in the Salt Lake Valley in some areas because of the manufacturing done in those areas.
Yeah.
Like radiological effects can be created by things that are not radioactive. It can happen with electricity.
Yeah.
So, no credence for me on that one.
Yeah.
What about you?
Fun story, but I give it about a 1.
Yeah, I'll give it a 1. I'm not saying aliens weren't in the area. You know, it's just like the Nevada testing site. After all of, you know, the nukes were tested and whatever over there, they started seeing more and more UFO activity.
Yeah.
So after the fact, or maybe even before the fact, those balls of light in the sky could have been UFOs. I'm not saying they're not. But the whole nuclear drive thing, not buying it.
Fantastical story. Probably a great book, but I haven't read it.
I probably won't either. I got the cliff notes right there.
Yeah, I just like bullshit. That's fun, though.
Yeah, it's fun. It's still better than flat Earth.
So, another theory is that it was a nuclear or a natural gas pocket that was under the underground, and so it's like a volcanic pocket of natural gas that somehow started seeping up through the bog and then kind of just created a cloud of natural gas that was coming up out of this bog, and then there was a lightning storm, and that lightning storm just set off the natural gas, and there was an explosion.
Possible, plausible, probably not. I'm not a doctor of natural gas.
Me neither.
I'm on other stuff.
That's not my field of expertise, but geologists that I do, colleagues of ours, have proposed this theory.
I see the possibility, but the amount of circumstance that would have to line up to make that happen seems kind of slim.
Yeah.
Because, for one, you would have to encapsulate that gas. Otherwise, it's going to go up into the atmosphere and dissipate. So somehow it would have to create like a cloud that's sealed for that to happen.
Yeah.
Or it would have to be super concentrated. But even then, eventually it's going to lose pressure, and it's going to backfill that hole with with whatever ignited it. So the ground itself would collapse.
Yeah, in my mind, it would be like a natural gas fart into the atmosphere. Just a huge giant, like the Earth just farts this big rush of natural gas at the time, and there's an electrical storm going on, and then just like zap.
But the timing would have to be so perfect.
Yeah.
Like a big poof, it dissipates, and then like once it reaches a certain volume, then that lightning happens to hit it. I'm gonna go with a 4.
Yeah. Yeah, when I heard that one, I was like, I don't like it. It's fucking dumb. I don't like that theory. Yeah, I'll say 5.
Yeah, because there's plausibility there.
Yeah.
But just the timing and the circumstances, just too much of a stretch for me.
Yeah.
I got one that I came up with on my own. You want to hear this?
Yes.
Have you ever heard of the rods from the gods? Or rod of God, or God rod, whatever?
Sounds intriguing.
Okay.
God's rod.
God's rod. So, it's a theoretical weapon where a satellite or a space station holds these huge tungsten rods, and they drop the tungsten rods from the upper atmosphere, and because of their density and their weight and the gravity and the electromagnetic effect would cause a huge explosion, like on a on a nuclear level, but without the radiological effects. So it's basically just a guided drop of this huge tungsten rod that would just obliterate anything that it lands on. Now, it's theoretical. I've not seen anything that proves that it's real, but it's been talked about so much in kind of like the zeitgeist of warfare for so long that it's like, is it real? However, the logistics of getting a 20-foot fucking tungsten rod up into the upper atmosphere or even into low orbit space, that's a feat because they're super dense and they're super fucking heavy.
Yeah.
So that alone just takes a couple of points right off the top. But if you were going to test such a weapon in 1908, keep in mind there's no space travel.
Yeah.
There's no NASA. There's
the first Sputnik was the first satellite, and that was like 1959, 57.
Yeah, something like that. So I'm already discrediting the whole idea, but the way that is described in different forms of literature kind of seems like the same effect. You have this huge explosion on the level of a nuclear bomb without the nuclear effects. Mm-hmm. No fallout, no radiation, no nothing.
Interesting. New thing to look at, God's rod. Careful how you search that one.
You might end up on the hub watching some weird shit.
You might, like, Peter Pounder or something, site or something.
Yeah, because we can't get the hub here in Utah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. can't.
So stupid. Well, you can, but who's going to go through the fucking verification process? It's so dumb.
Nobody that I know that will admit it.
That will admit it. That's the key. That's the key, because I'm sure there's quite a few people on there.
Yeah. I just like look at a static fucking TV, and like the old days.
Yeah, you just like put it on channel 8. Is that a nipple? As it's going.
That was a tit. That was a tit. I like to do things old school.
Old school.
Yeah.
Get a magazine.
I wonder if they still. They probably still make those, right?
We still live in Utah, so even if they do, you'd have to go to
one.
specific stores to
I
find it.
haven't seen one of those in years.
A long time.
Yeah.
So yeah, the tungsten rod theory is just something I was playing with just because the effects match. Everything else doesn't line up.
Yeah.
So even for my own edification, I'm still going to go with a 2 on that one.
Yeah. I like that idea, and I would be interested in watching a video on how that would work. But in this scenario, yeah, since we didn't even... I don't even know how high our airplanes could fly at that time.
The only way I could put it into like a sense of understanding.
When did the Wright brothers invent an airplane?
1906 was the first flight. So just 3 years before.
Yeah. So they're flying up into the atmosphere with like paper winged airplanes.
With fucking 22 wings on top. Pedal faster, Orville! The only other way I could get it to make sense in my mind was that maybe Wardenclyffe Tower didn't just create electricity, but it created some kind of electrogravitic effect that could have sent a tungsten rod up into the upper atmosphere. It bounced off of the pole and then came back down and landed there. Still a lining of perfect circumstance for that to happen.
Yeah.
But we know electrogravitics are a real thing. So there's feasibility there.
Yeah, I'll say 3.
That's something I just came up with just this morning.
Good job, doctor.
Thank you. I'm a real
Hell of a
doctor
deal.
now. Hell of a deal.
Yeah, and all the things that I've looked at, even the Tesla thing, which I love that, to me, in my mind, it still seems like the thing that makes the most sense is an airburst meteor, and it just fucking disintegrated in the air. I mean, you're at that speed. It's not just like this friction on the atmosphere as the thing enters the atmosphere that's creating the thing to catch on fire, but it's compressing the air in front of it so much. You ever seen one of those fire starter things, and you have a little tube and then a stick, and then you pump down the tube like that, and it compresses the air inside of the chamber and then catches that thing on fire? Something to move is moving that fast is compressing all the air in front of it so much that it's literally catching the air on fire. So anything that it exploded, every bit of that, I think, is going to be just incinerated in the air.
So I'm 100% on board with you, especially considering a meteor is going to have pockets in it, not air pockets, but pockets that air can fill.
Yeah.
And it's going to have ice and therefore some water content and gases that you're going to superheat it, and then from the inside it's going to blow out. It's kind of like if you take a rock out of the river and throw it in a fire. Eventually it's going to explode.
Right.
But it did it with such speed and such high temperature that it did just vaporize or even atomize all the particulates. And even if it didn't, those particulates that exploded are cast over such a huge swath of land that how would you ever find them?
Yeah, I mean, if it exploded 5 miles above the Earth, that's where the epicenter is, where the explosion happened. These things are still moving at 7 miles a second, and so it's going to push everything miles off course from where the epicenter is. So maybe even the area that they're looking at where it looks like this explosion happened, everything's not going to fall straight down to the ground. It's going to keep going with momentum.
Yeah.
Maybe 30 miles away or something.
And depending on which direction it came from, it could have went right to the North Pole, in which it's buried under ice.
Yeah. Or that's what they're using, the steel and the little, gold pieces to make Christmas presents and shit for all the kids and big kids, small kids.
Could be.
Maybe
that's what really happened to Santa. Like Santa used to be real, but the meteor that airbursted over Tunguska, a big chunk of it just like glanced back off and went to the North Pole where it was intended to go. And then it's just like Santa's over there, doing his thing and eating cookies and shit, looks out the window. Oh, fuck. Therefore, Santa was real, but he's dead.
Santa-pocalypse.
Santa-pocalypse.
New movie coming to theaters next.
Copyrighted.
next Christmas. Look for it. So like, not only that is the date that it happened was June 30th, 1908. The end of June, from like June 27th to July 5th, is when the Earth is passing through the one of the sections of the Taurid meteor stream, and so it lines up with this. There's always meteor showers. If you don't know what a meteor shower is, it's little bits of rocks that are passing through or skimming off the atmosphere. Sometimes they come through. Every time you see a falling star, that's what that is a meteor glancing off of our atmosphere, going through the atmosphere. And every year, the end of June and the beginning of November, we pass through this Taurid meteor stream, which was little bits and pieces of a comet called Enki that used to be orbiting in our solar system, but it blew up, and now there's just like meteor debris that kind of orbits in our solar system. We pass through this debris field twice a year, like once over here and then once over here, as the Earth passes around or rotates around the sun. So just that timeline of June 30th is the time that we are passing through one of these major, pretty much a minefield, cosmic minefield of big rocks that are floating around. Some of them are like 2 kilometers wide. They're really big pieces of fucking rock out there that are just waiting for an impact with us. So in my mind, the most plausible thing still, even though there are funner theories out there, is a meteor airburst. Whether it happened, it could be like a multitude of these things happening simultaneously. Like if we're just saying it has to be the perfect timing for it, but like eventually throughout 4 billion years of history, things are going to happen that seem like fucking have to be perfect timing, but really it's like the dinosaurs got wiped out by a meteor. It's not like it hasn't happened before on this planet, but over a long enough time period, pretty much all possibilities
they'll play out.
Going to happen at some point. Yeah,
I agree. I think the meteor theory is the most plausible.
Yeah,
and it's definitely the most explainable.
It's a little bit psychic, but like
it's psychic in that it's not as fantastical as we want.
Right.
I have a fantastical one.
Oh, okay.
And I came up with this one this morning too. It's not fully formed, so you're going to get the raw version. You ready? What if when Tesla fired up Wardenclyffe Tower, it didn't cause an electrical impact in the way we kind of think, or even this electrostatic burst that destroyed, Tunguska? What if instead he created enough energy to tear a hole in the fabric of space-time? And then, stay with me here, Jebediah, what if, 30-ish years later, a little bit less than 30 years later, when he was involved in the Philadelphia experiment, when he was degaussing the ship. Instead, what it did was he also created enough energy to tear a hole in the fabric of space-time. But the energy that was created had to go somewhere. So it went back to that first rip in space-time, and that's what created Tunguska. Residual energy from time travel.
Oh.
That's fantastical.
That's another movie.
That's a whole ass movie.
That's
right
a whole
there.
ass movie.
Copyrighted, you heard it here.
Yeah. Coming the summer of 2027. Tunguska time event.
Tesla rips the Earth a new one. Or sorry, Tesla rips space-time a new one.
So here's one that as you were explaining all that stuff, just came up with a theory of my own here. Live on the spot.
This is what we do, we're doctors.
Okay, so the Wardenclyffe Tower is a machine designed to generate energy, but that energy has to come from somewhere, correct? Energy can't be created nor destroyed, right? So the energy is being gathered up by this machine and then outputted. What if he had one of the wires backwards, and instead of gaining electromagnetic currents from the Earth, was attracting them from the atmosphere? And so electromagnetic energy kind of like bounces around the Earth like this, like one of those plasma balls that you see that you put your hands on, but it's on the outside, like bouncing around the Earth like this, like in spherical waves. So they say that Tunguska is a straight line across the North Pole, so he's like reaching up and pulling electromagnetic energy out from up in the sky, but it's really arcing over to that region over there and pulling that electromagnetic energy out, and so it's just dissipating the magnetic field above that area, and then as soon as he turns it off, it collapses back down like that.
Ooh, I like that. That's doctor, that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
Man, see, I like ours better.
I do. We should write some books.
We should write some books. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You got plot and structure and all that.
ChatGPT, write me a book containing...
So part of why I was thinking about the time travel thing was that, as we talked about before in time travel, where if I was to time travel right now, like I would maintain my physical space but change the time I was in, I would no longer be sitting here. I'd be sitting over there. Like if I went 5 minutes in the past, the Earth is not in the same position.
Yeah.
And that's because they're so diametrically opposite on the globe. That's why this event happened on the other side, was because that's where Wardenclyffe Tower was at the moment.
At the moment. Well, was the Earth spin at 17,000 miles an hour or something like that at the pole, at the equator?
Yeah, something like that.
So yeah, 17,000 miles is about, in my calculations, right about Tunguska.
Carry the 4
Rotation,
divided by 7.
17. Yeah. Checks out. Math's there.
Yeah, I like those ideas better. They're
Yeah.
both getting a 10.
Yeah.
Plausibility for the meteor is the highest, but those are more fun.
Did you hear about the black hole, miniature black hole theory?
I did hear about that. I can't. It's
Yeah.
a solid 0.
Yeah. The idea is that
Unless that is the tear in the fabric of space-time.
it could be.
Time dilates different around a black hole, so maybe that just gives my theory more credibility.
Yeah. Yeah, the idea is that like the Earth collided with a miniature black hole, which would be like, this is what they were worried about when they turned on the Large Hadron Collider for the first time, is that they were going to smash atoms together, which would create a miniature black hole, which is a microscopic black hole that would pretty much eat our entire existence into this black hole. It would collapse everything down into this pinpoint of energy. Supposedly, people believe that there are these miniature black holes that are floating around space. We can't see them or detect them through gravity, which is the way that we detect black holes now, is the warp around them from the light warping around them. But they're so small that we can't see that gravity warp around them. So the theory is that one of these miniature black holes collided with our Earth and just... but again, I would think that would leave a huge fucking hole in the ground.
Yeah, it would definitely...
Or not that, it would have to pass all the way through and come out on the other side.
Well, I think even if a black hole opened and then collapsed back onto itself like it never happened, it would take everything in that physical space that it occupied with it.
Yeah.
So that you wouldn't have burnt trees, you'd have no trees.
Yeah.
You would just have a big void of space.
You'd have like a fucking, someone just took a bite out of the Earth cookie.
Exactly. It just looked like Galactus was like,
Yeah.
nope.
It would look like the flat Earth would actually look like a cookie with a bite taken out of it.
So it's funny that you mentioned the Large Hadron Collider, because as soon as you started talking, I thought of another theory. So we're just fucking theorizing the shit out of this.
Cooking, dude.
Let him cook! Hit that Blackstone, baby. What if when they turned on the Large Hadron Collider, they have the ability to view past events? And one person was like, I'm curious of what happened at Tunguska in 1909, or was it 08 or 09?
Oh, wait.
So they're like, I can view the past with this. And then they went to view the past, but they transferred so much energy, it created that blast, and they were like, oh shit, I just created a causal loop. Highly unlikely, but still fun.
Yeah.
You're just like, because really, I'm going to go on a different tangent here, but if you have the ability to view the past, to view history, would you change it by just viewing it? Kind of like the double slit experiment. Now, granted, it's, the photons don't just change behavior because you're looking at them. It's what you're using to look at them that changes it. So,
maybe.
Is it possible?
Or just, I mean, I would think...
Ancient astronaut theorists.
I would think you would have to generate some enormous amount of energy to be able to either look forward or back in time. So yeah, again, just opening opening up that lens to see and then closing it back down would create some kind of energy bubble.
Well, and it could potentially have some kind of kinetic outward effect when it closes.
Right.
And it's possible. The amount of power you would need to create an Einstein-Rosen bridge or a wormhole to be able to view past events, because you'd have to essentially take the fabric of space-time and fold it together, poke a pinhole through it, and then look.
Yeah.
Now, what happens when you unfold it?
Yeah.
Like you're taking two pieces of tape and sticking them together. Now you have to rip them apart, but the amount of force you have to use to do that... I take back what I said about the black hole. It's plausible.
If you don't know what we're talking about, just watch Stranger Things. That's what they're fucking dealing with right now. It's a Rosen Bridge.
Yeah. Probably skip season 5.
Oh, you haven't liked it?
No. To be honest, I haven't. And I want to so bad. But it's just like... The first episode just came out swinging, which was like... They kind of downplayed the ending of season 4, which the last episode of season 4, you saw like the fractures in the ground, and you're like, holy shit, this is potential Armageddon. And then they begin season 5, and it's like, everything's back to normal except we live in a quarantine. Which, okay, that's stupid. But it was just like, okay, the characterization's coming out, everything's working really well, and then it just started going for me. There are things I liked, and then there's a lot of things that I'm just like, who the fuck wrote this? Do you hate your own show?
It seems like might be ChatGPT that's writing it and just connecting all these things together.
I feel like ChatGPT would have done a better job. And I'm not hating on, the Duffer Brothers. They made a good show, and they've had a couple of really banger seasons, and then they've had a couple of turds. It's just how TV shows go.
Yeah, so far I'm liking the 5th season, just because all the things that we've talked about in the past year or so seem to be like popping their heads into, even like the gay episode, which was like I think the last one that they put out before the finale, where Will comes out and says that he's gay, and like there was a bunch of people online that were saying that it was unnecessary, and like, why do they do this to everything, and like, why is it such a big deal? And it's like, dude, yeah, but that is also talking about his psi abilities.
Yeah.
Of him like being,
because he's psychic.
In the last episode, it's like, yeah, women and gay men have the highest aptitude for psychic abilities.
Yeah, we established it. If you take dick, you have powers.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Listen to the Zach Bagans episode.
I honestly didn't have a problem with that at all. And I get other people's perception of why do they have to do this. And Netflix and Disney are notorious for it.
Yeah.
So I do understand that perception from that point of view. But for me, they've been laying the seeds of that for 4 seasons now. So it's like, finally, we just paid it off. We're done. We can move on. But that character needed to accept the one thing that he was afraid of is now his power.
Yeah.
So it's like, gay power, I don't see the problem with it. And even establishing Robin as gay in the season before kind of gave him an outlet to be able to have the strength to come out. I'm totally cool with it.
Well, I think, I mean, even going along the lines of this show being set in the 80s, like the 80s were hella gay, dude.
Super gay. Did you see the clothes?
Yeah. Like, your neck of your t-shirt is cut down here with the sleeves cut off. You got a belly shirt.
Shoulder pads.
It says relax, it's pink.
Dudes wore fucking mullets.
Macho Man Randy Savage is wearing a pink fucking shirt.
The cream rises to the top.
Everything was like neon colors.
Yeah.
Super gay. Very psychic. Very psychic.
Very psychic.
Very
but
psychic
not a
decade.
Super socially acceptable time to be gay. I mean, that was kind of the beginning of when it became more normal, but it's still, being a kid, where do they live, Ohio or whatever?
Yeah.
That it's probably not a common thing.
Right.
Versus if, you lived in San Francisco at the time, like, everybody was gay.
Yeah.
Who cares? But being just like the one random kid in a tri-state area who happens to like dudes was probably difficult.
If you live in San Francisco in the 1980s, you're gay if you don't suck dick.
Well, they're probably all dead from AIDS now, but that's a joke. It's a joke.
Harsh.
Yeah, no, I heard the gripes about that, and I think those people are looking at it from the wrong perspective.
Yeah.
There's other things about that season that just kind of feel like contrivances. Like, they get from one episode to the next on pure luck, almost. Like, not luck of the characters, the writing. They just happen to make it fit just enough to keep going.
See, in my mind, I'm still looking at it through the lens of, like, this is all a D&D campaign. And even, like, when they're, like, doing the dungeon crawls, that's a D&D reference, like.
Yeah.
And when they're mapping out the dungeon crawl, and they pull up, like, the sections that they've looked at, it looks like a fucking D&D game board.
Yeah.
Like, everything, and so, like, every little Easter egg that's, like, put in there, it's just, like, I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, I think all my gripes are just so small, and I think my expectations were too high. So a lot of it is on me. But then there's some little things that take me out of it, like, and I'm not hating on Millie Bobby Brown, but you could tell she's got, like, some filler or Botox going, and she looks amazing. But it makes it kind of hard for her face to emote. So,
yeah.
Am I smiling? some of the characters, it's like, did you forget your motivation? And then the thing that I griped the most about is the same thing everybody else is, that whole Max and Holly scene when the portal's open and they have this fucking 10-minute monologue.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh my God, shut the fuck up and go through the portal.
Yeah. I was like, just fucking run, but at the same time I was like, Max knows she's going back to her body, and she knows that Holly is going back to Vecna, so it's like, fuck, man.
I do get it. It just...
You're gonna be okay. I'm just gonna go over here really quick and peace out. Let's suck that Vecna dick real quick.
Like, listen, I know this is gonna suck, but I gotta go back to my body, but we'll come find you, okay? Yeah. Just believe in yourself, you'll be okay. Holly the hero.
Holly the hero.
Anyway. Big gulps, huh? See you later.
She comes back into her body and she's just like, now she's got to drive one of those things.
I did like the well getting powers thing.
Yeah.
And it was cool.
Yeah.
So I'll give it credence on that. Yeah, I want to see how the rest turns out before I really pass any judgment. Because maybe I just need to sit and watch it from front to back and then let the little shit go.
I think that's what... So every season I'm like, I don't even want to watch it anymore. It's been like 10 years since the last season came out. And so like that, I took off a week of work and like right when those... Season 5 started, when it came out around Thanksgiving, I was off for like fucking 12 days or something. And so I watched those ones and I was like, fuck, man. I forgot what happened. So I had to go back. And so I started watching from the beginning again and watched everything. And so when these new ones came out, I was like pretty hard for them, you know.
Mm-hmm. I get that.
I think that was just because I had like rewatched all of them. I'd put like fucking 30 hours of work into this shit.
Yeah, I started rewatching it since you told me about, the like kind of Easter egg thing, and I've been enjoying it that way, and I might come out with a better perspective of it later.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes it just feels like, are you guys writing this shit as a dare just to see if you can pull it off? So anyway, we'll see how it goes in a couple of days.
Yeah.
So, Tunguska. Fuck, we could tie that into Stranger Things.
I think it fits.
Wardenclyffe Tower in Long Island is not that far from Montauk.
No.
Which is not super far from Philadelphia.
If they go off of our theories that we just created right now, it could tie in really well.
Yeah, they could just like fucking whoosh, loop the whole thing back together.
Yeah. Duffer Brothers, if you guys need some ideas, we're willing to, ghost write for you guys.
And P.S. Justice for Bob.
Yeah.
And Barb.
And Bob.
And Bob.
Bob and Bob.
Yeah, those two characters were killed, and it was like, it was sad at the moment. Yeah, and then we just stopped caring.
Yeah.
I mean, Joyce cared for a minute in season 3 or whatever, but then it was just like, Bob? Who? You don't talk about Rudy like that. He was important. You only killed him off to make space for Hopper.
Yeah, I recently saw an interview of his that he did a while ago and talking about, like, I didn't know his dad was the fucking dad on
Gomez?
Yeah, Adam's Family. Interesting. Did not know that.
Yeah. It's kind of fun when you think about it. You're like, holy shit. That guy was like 40 in the 60s. And then he's got Sean Astin, who's got to be in his 50s or something by now. But yeah, crazy. So,
anyways,
Tunguska. So I think it's safe to say the most likely is the meteor.
Yeah.
The fantastic.
As lame as a meteorite fucking exploding in the atmosphere is,
fucking
how terrifying that would be. It's just not very fantastical. It just seems very, very plausible.
Yeah, it's not very like Orson Welles.
Yeah.
You kind of want it to be more evil and sinister than it really is.
Yeah.
But really, it's just the universe's way of doing things.
Yeah.
I mean, what was there? There's like 10 million meteors out there just hanging around, and NASA watches like 33,000 of them that are potentially going to hit Earth.
Yeah.
And that could happen at any time, which sounds scary, but...
The meteorites enter our atmosphere like one every 3 or 4 days or something like that, that actually make it to Earth's, like, hit the surface. So it does happen quite often, but a lot of the times they drop into the ocean, or they're hit places that aren't super populated, or
they burn up to such a small piece that it makes no difference.
Yeah. So, I mean, they even talk about the Younger Dryas being a meteor impact, and that was like 12,000 years ago, that kind of ended the last ice age. But even before that, there's history of meteors hitting the Earth. So has, and will happen again. It's just like, will it happen in this little fraction of time when we personally are here on the Earth?
Potentially.
Maybe. Could it happen tomorrow? Could it happen 10 years from now?
You know what scares me the most about that is Bruce Willis has ALS. So who's going to lead the drilling team up there to drill it and then drop a nuke in it so it splits in half?
We don't even have to now that Will's got powers.
Oh, that's true. You just see 11.
Yeah,
that was the thing that bugged me too. It's like the smallest thing she does with her telekinesis still causes a nosebleed. Like when she can lift like a fucking Coke can and still get a nosebleed, but it's only just enough to let you know it's a nosebleed. That's it. I get a nosebleed and that shit's pouring out.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
How tight would it be though to have a girlfriend with telekinesis? It would be super tight, dude.
She's just like, not in the mood.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Or it could be terrible. She's just like, payback time. You fuck.
Yeah, I guess it goes both ways there.
Yeah. Don't piss her off, man.
You're gonna get ghost butt fucked from 1,000 miles away.
You're gonna get telekinetic beefy. That's awful. Awful funny.
Who's gonna be the next Bruce Willis though, that can go up there and mine this comet and explode it?
Well, I guess Ben Affleck's still alive and he was there.
True.
But some of the other guys,
Liv Tyler. Although she didn't go on the rocket.
She was the moral support.
Yeah. Yeah, gonna have to come up with a new cast.
Armageddon 2, coming summer 2026. Even more Armageddon-y.
The Armageddonest movie you'll ever see.
So yeah, I think we can call that solved. It was a meteor, airburst meteor. Fucking lame.
Yeah, lame.
Although the theories were fun.
Theories were fun, and it was fun to, because there was some that had like certain ones in them, different podcasts, some that had certain theories and left certain theories out, and then like, come on, give me the fringe shit, dude.
You can't just cherry pick and say, I don't believe this one, so I'm not even going to talk about it. I mean, look at the black hole one. I dismissed it right away, and then the more we talked about it, the more my mind changed of like, possible.
Yeah.
So I think it's just unfair to throw out theories. At least do like we did and rate them on a scale.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is a 9, this one's a 1, or this one's a 0, So I think the theorizing was more fun than the rest.
Yeah, and even now, like, we've come to our conclusion that most likely it was an airburst. That's the only thing that even actual scientists can say about it, is there was nobody there to really see it or test it even fucking 10 years after. There was even an expedition that went out in like 2019 to go there and try to study it again, and they were just like, it was miserable for them. They didn't get much evidence of anything because so much time had passed. But we're talking 115 years later, going back to go and research what had happened, and a lot of their equipment failed because of the remoteness of the place. So I mean, who knows at this point? I mean,
But still, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence.
Right.
It could have been any one of those things.
could have been all of them all at the same time.
Could have been. It could have just been like, God was really pissed that day and was like, you know what? Fuck that one spot.
Tesla fired his fucking laser beam, his power beam up into the sky, and it hit a meteor and it exploded over a pocket of natural gas, created a miniature black hole that hit into the earth.
And the aliens were standing there watching, going, holy shit, these monkeys are
Fuck, that was
smart.
crazy. Let's get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah, there's just so much to it. Meteors.
Meteors.
Fucking solved it.
Solved it.
Doctor,
Doctor.
with that said, we'll pull it there. Okay, love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.